So that was my recording of Joe Harris' song called Baton Rouge Rag. And the original, you can find it on this fantastic LP, if you can still find it. It's long out of print, of course. And Joe Harris is not pictured, but just for fun. This is Noah Moore, the grandson of an uncle of Judy Ledbetter, and this is Uncle Bob Ledbetter. His 80-year-old uncle in 1940, that was, because this album was recorded in Shreveport, Louisiana in 1940. And you see here Noah Moore with his soldier cap. He died in action in the war, the Second World War, sadly. And on this LP he recorded a song called, how it is called, Low Down Worry Blues, and it's 11 minutes and 41 seconds long. They recorded with tape, so they were able to do that. And Joe Harris was also recorded, and apart from these couple songs, nothing is known about him. Neither about the origins of the song, where he picked up his fancy chording, because that's my purpose of teaching this song. It's a standard ragtime progression, and you will find a link to the tab in the video description. And you will see also I wrote out the 16 measures of the progression. The first two measures are in A, then 2 measures D, 2 measures G, and so on. And you can fill in those chords with first position chords or up the neck, and as long as you play well the allotted time of that chord, you have a great progression. Joe Harris used an A9 chord, which is quite rare in, well, blues fingerpicking, to say the least. And also his D minor here, and his E7 in the first pass of the progression, and that makes this song unique. I came to know the song, well, I have the LP from way back, but the song never appealed to me, because, well, Joe Harris plays it very, how should I say, well, in a personal style, and sometimes he uses an alternating bass, sometimes a monotonic bass, or no bass at all. So it's very, very personal, and to play it exactly as he does, it's sheer impossible, I think. And I came to know the song through a lesson by John Miller. And he every month he offers a lesson at a reduced price with tablature and a talk through, an audio talk through, no video. And well, I ordered the lesson, and I thought, well, I can't play this. So I tried to make my own version, and first of all I got rid of the strange bass notes and did alternating bass throughout. And I picked up some of his things, and other things I didn't do. So if you want to really know about the original version, then check out John's site. And if I can find it on YouTube, I place a link to the original song in the video description. I can digitize my LP, so you have to do it with that. Anyway, we're in standard tuning. These are my E's. And I'll play the first part slowly. I recorded also on a 12-string. Sounds really cool on the 12-string, I think. Typical of less is more. And but I will teach it on the 6-string for ease of learning, of course. So we're starting with that crazy A9 chord. And when you play in the key of E, you can use that chord, the full chord then, which is open, 2nd fret, open, 1st fret, 3rd fret, and 2nd fret. And you can get there by your E7, simply removing your 3rd finger to the 2nd fret of the 1st string. And I came to know the chord through Brownie McGee's music. He used this chord often, and you can use it instead of the E7 and so on. So, and also I noticed early jazz players like Eddie Lang used this chord also. the short version like this, or only the first 3 strings. Anyway, let's start with the piece. So those are the first 6 bars, and I'm sliding usually into the chords like that with my second finger. And here, when it comes to the right hand, well, you can play pretty much anything within this chord. I did sometimes, and I'm just trying out things. So you can, don't be, well, don't think that the tap is chiseled in stone, just do your own thing. And then we go to that D minor chord. And I'm using, here the bass, the alternating bass goes from, so it's 5th, 3rd, 4th, 3rd string. Just to add some variation. You can play it like that also, but I think that's more variation. Anyway, 5, 6, 7, adding the pinky, and then we go to our G7, and well, that's a partial G7, and it's your D7 position moved up, so here it is a G, becomes a G, and I'm only picking the first 2 strings, and that leaves your open G string, and you can use that as a bass, like that. And again, if you listen carefully to the performance video, you will hear that I do variations there. As long as you go that for 2 measures. Or just trying out stuff. So again, don't think that the tap is chiseled in stone. So now we have 2 measures of C. Long chords, and now we're sliding again back in our A9, and I've lifted up my pinky there. Then we go back to our A9 for 2 measures, 1 measure of the D minor, and here let it ring into the next beat. 2 measures D minor, sorry. Again, you don't have to have that beat rest. Works also. And then we have an ascending run with diminished chords. 8, 7, 8, 7. And that's just a crazy turnaround, and D7, and back to C. Alright, I'll play it one more time as slow as possible. Notice also the muting now and then is also important. See? If you let it ring all the way through, it becomes mushy. Usually the last beat of every measure I certainly mute. Here too for the bass, if you, that's too much, so I slightly mute it. Also very short. And here in the tabis, but you can add some syncopation there. Also the muting. Alright, then the second measure, we're playing the same thing but using different chord positions. So again, 2 measures of A, 2 measures of D7 and so on. And we go, well, that's straight, let's say Blind Blake. Bar 17 and 18. Very typical Blake. D7. One more time. So D7, open, G7, I forgot to mention the chord there in the tablature, G7 back to D7. And that last note of the second beat, just prolong it, let it ring into the next beat. So, we have that long chord, bar 17. Again, here you can do different rocking between the 5th and the 3rd fret on the 1st string and find out your own variations for that. Anything goes. We've seen that, and then the G7. One more time. Pinky doing all the work. Little break there. If you're not able to do that, just play the C for 2 measures. Let's do that. Or you can do so anyway, the 23rd bar, I'll play that with a 10. And the last note, I pick it once and slide it into the A chord and then play the first beat of the 25th measure. So one more time. That D7, and I wrote out the thumb, middle and index where I play it. So it's thumb, middle, thumb, middle, index, thumb, index. And I mute that heavy bass there. And then we go to the F. And usually if I play it fast, I omit the last note of the 28th measure. and go from the open 4th string to the F. Slowly. Thumb, index, thumb. Again, if that's too fast for you, we'll give you some options. Simply. Or. And as long as you keep it short, you'll have that swingy feel. And almost doesn't matter what you do in the trebles there, as long as you have that swing going. Just for one measure. So. And one more time slowly. Notice the muting. And now with that alternate F bar, bar 29. You can do a little bend there too. Also, if you're not able to, just play 2 measures of D7, so. That's why I wrote out the construction of the progression on the bottom of the first page. So don't be afraid to use your own chords there, your own versions of those chords. So we had the second verse. Now I'm not going to teach you the whole 3rd and 4th pass, which are simply variations of the first and the second part. And what did I do the second time through when going to our famous A9 chord there? No, I did little double tapping here. Notice the muting. That was a very difficult run, the most difficult run I think of all the whole song, and Joe Harris played it like that. And I found that you have a half beat rest there, and then and going with your 3rd finger up, I'm usually off rhythm. Well, when I play it slowly, it's no problem, of course, but I noticed that I make the least mistakes when I use my pinky to do that. So, and I start with the index. And then da, 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 and then I go. So because if you're playing that 5th fret, 4th string, you have to play it twice. And if you do, somehow it gets lost. So I changed fingering there. Like that. Of course, if you don't manage, you can play the other variation, which we did in the first time. Alright, I guess that was it for the second pass, apart from maybe. And you can use bar 11, you can use that as bar 3, for example. So, sorry. think I did that the second time, and the rest was the same as the first verse. Then the fourth verse is a variation of the second verse. And I wrote that out. I used a different, well, Joe Harris used a different D7, which you don't often see. Well, you see, of course, the C7 shape, and sometimes this shape, and he used parts of that shape, simply left the first string open, which kind of cool, I think. That's on the second last line of the second page of the tab. So as a variation for bar 19 till 24. So. And then we had. As a variation of those 2 bars of G and 2 bars of C. And I wrote out the fingering, the right hand fingering under the tab. So temp, middle, temp, temp, middle, index, temp. And you add the second finger to the second fret of the third string. Sorry. Then we change to our C chord. You leave the pinky. And it is your second finger that goes from the fourth string to the from the fourth string, second fret on the first beat, to the second fret, third string on the last beat. So it's sorry. It's more difficult to do it slow. And then we had our F fasting. All right. And then the last time which is a variation of that run in bar 23-24. I simply went to the 8th fret, 5th fret, and the rest is the same. And alternating picking. Like that, something. Or sometimes I do that. That is too fast. So I guess that is it for Baton Rouge Rag. So don't be afraid to add your own choices for some notes, and try to listen to Joe Harris' version, and well, have fun with it.